Good afternoon, ladies and gents. I think the microphone might have got some clipping there because the exhaust was so loud on that test drive, but you get the idea. We're going to introduce you to our newest build right now that's going to Barrett-Jackson, Scottsdale in October next month. So what we got here to start with is a 1968 GMC C10. This truck's sitting on a no-limit Protect chassis, coilover, not airbags. Sports an LS6 T56 Magnum combination. So as I said, this is powered by a Gen 3 LS6. It's got a sheet metal intake, 92mm throttle body, custom 4-inch air intake. It's breathing through hooker cast manifolds, 2.5-inch exhaust through Flowmasters. We're stopping with a Leeds polished and chrome master cylinder and booster kit. We also have a hydraulic clutch and the whole pedal assembly supplied by Level 7 Motorsports. The entire truck is wired from American Auto Wire. We have a Holley front runner accessory drive, and of course that plumbs right into our vintage air. It's cooled by a Holley Frostbite radiator and fan setup. We've got March billet hood hinges, and we are LED bulbs throughout this entire truck, including the custom bumper with fog light inserts. The bed is sealed pine with stainless steel strips, and the fuel filler is a Douglas Machining flush mount fuel filler. We're sitting on rev wheels, front and rear, 265/45/20 in the rear, and 255/45/20 in the front. We've got Mike's billet mirrors and Trick Manufacturing door handles and latches onto the inside. So on this build we decided to do stock style door panels and levers, and we even got a stock style column with tilt and stock style steering wheel to offset all the other high-tech stuff we've done throughout here. We are running through Dakota digital gauges, which are really nice, blue LED, and we have a Pioneer multimedia radio also tuned or turned to have blue backlighting on it to match. As I said earlier, vintage air, and we went with a regular key to start it this time because I know how much you guys hate when we put push to start in these. And a first for our builds, we decided to do a manual and went straight for a T56 Magnum 6-speed. This is the Level 7 Motorsports brake and clutch assembly that has an integral clutch master built in inside the cab instead of having it hang out outside. It's a very nice piece. It's a little pricey, but it is well worth the price. For audio, we're rocking 6.5-inch kickers in the kick panels and 6x9s in the back cab corners, along with a 10-inch Rockwood Fosgate sub and pre-made box. Now, this seat that everybody loves is another knockout piece from Snowden Custom Seats. He's awesome. We've used a lot of his stuff. If you're looking for a nice custom bench, check him out. So in my builds, I like to keep everything minimalistic and not have stuff screwed into the firewall or the floor or hidden behind the seat, unless it's, stereo. So when we're using these PSI wiring kits for the engine management, they come with this tiny little fuse block, so you can easily fit them even in this Vintage Air limited space glove box. Fits right in there perfect, and my OBD2 port is right there, so you can still read all your codes, tune it, do whatever you want. This plug that is actually plugged into it is a piece from Dakota Digital's, which is their BIM module, which transfers all of my signals directly from my factory ECM to my dash, so I don't have to run, 6 or 7 independent sensors and do all that wiring. So that's pretty much it for the outside and the inside. I'm gonna go bring it inside, put it up on a lift, and we'll show you the underside. And in the air, we are. All right, so we're going to start in the middle of the chassis. And why, do you ask? Well, because if you're good with your eyes and you looked around on the inside, you would see there is no e-brake lever or pedal, because 67, 68, you can have the lever or the pedal. And you probably thought to yourself, what a bunch of hacks building a truck with no parking brake, especially a stick truck. Yeah, no. So e-stop. Some of you have heard of them, some of you haven't. Very cool electric actuator, push button, e-brake assembly. So that gets rid of everything up inside. We've got a little button on the side of the instrument cluster. You can wire it so that your ignition has to be off to engage the brake, or so you can hit it at any time. Now, I would rather not accidentally hit a button and lock my brakes up on the highway, so we have it wired so that you can't arm it unless your ignition is off. Here you can see the 2.5-inch exhaust back into Flowmasters, and then just simple little dumps right here. This is the fuel tank that comes with the No Limit chassis, and I just realized I have to get my alignment marks, my tape that I have here, off of there. Bear in mind, this truck has 700 miles on it right now, so I am just about done with all the shakedown stuff, and we're doing one big final cleaning and nut and bolt on it before it goes to Barrett-Jackson. But this tank is a 340 liter per hour pump. It's a return system. You can see how this No Limit chassis changes the rear suspension to a 4-link panhard bar with coilovers. And in the front, we are now a tubular upper-lower control arm with a coilover and a big fat sway bar and rack and pinion. So this truck now handles as good as, this is probably like a drivetrain that an 02 or so Vet would have, LS6 and a 6-speed, and this truck handles like that now. These frames are super nice. There's a lot of tech videos on them on No Limit's site. They basically were built to be autocross frames and are stiff enough to do that. And they do stiffness tests compared to a factory frame, and it's pretty wild how stiff and rigid these frames are and how not stiff and rigid the factory frame is. All right, and here you can see the bottom of our engine. This is a Holley 32-02 pan that's made to fit chassis like this when you do muscle car swaps and stuff. Polyurethane bushings for engine and transmission, so we're not transmitting all that vibration through it. And you can get a good look at our Holley front runner system from underneath, as well as our Frostbite radiator setup. As I mentioned, it's 4-wheel disc. These are not big Willwards like we usually do. These are the normal size brakes that you can get on the No Limit chassis. And honestly, they are plenty big for what this truck was going to be. If this was going to be some 500-600 horse LS like McDreamy was, yeah, we would put the big brakes on it. But this is a 420, 415 horse engine. It's nothing crazy. It just drives super nice. Well, and there you have it. So this is our 68 step-side no-limit build coming to a Barrett-Jackson near you. I'll do you guys a favor. If you go to my Instagram, which is in my bio, there's a lot more pictures of this up there. Or if you want to snap a picture of that, I'll hold it still for a second. That goes directly to the Barrett-Jackson link, so you can check everything out there. But yeah, wish us luck. I'll see you in October.